Should we lock President Trump up?
That's a good question. Well, I'd like to see President Trump no longer be in office. Beyond that, I really think we have to wait and see what the investigation comes up with. But I think right now, really there's enough information for the House to begin impeachment proceedings. But there is an ongoing investigation, and I think, trying to figure out what Mueller is going to come up with, I think is going to be really important.
What do you think about Reality Winner? Is she a leaker who broke the law or a patriot?
I think she has the funniest name. I can't believe she's named Reality Winner. It's like a bad reality show. I don't know enough yet about what she's done. I want to hear more about it. I mean, I think these are really hard questions about the line between when you're a whistleblower and when you're actually violating the law. I think if you are violating the law and you're a whistleblower, you kind of need to be willing to take the consequences. That's kind of what civil disobedience is about, right? You break the law and you say, I think it's more important that people know what happened than that I, remain free. But I think we need to know more about her. I don't know that much yet about what else she's done or what the circumstances were.
In Trump's cabinet meeting, he kind of made everyone say something good about him. Was that?
Will you say something good about me? I'm just kidding you.
Yeah.
That was pretty weird, didn't you think? That was crazy. It kind of felt like that's what a dictator does. Make everybody say that they're loyal to him and say great things about him.
What do you think about President Trump's decision to review national monuments?
So I think it's, if he tries to overturn decisions that President Obama or other presidents made to declare national monuments, I think he's going to lose in court. So the law says that the president is allowed to basically put land into national monument status, but it doesn't say that the president can take the land back out. So I think that he's doing this because there are people who don't like national monuments. Most people love them, though. I think it's a bad political move, but I also think he's not going to be able to do it legally.
But most of the monuments have to do with Native Americans. Do you think that he's aiming it to hurt Native Americans?
So the one that you're thinking of is Bears Ears, and I think he's probably thinking that the people who want the land to do things like drill oil and that kind of thing are his voters, and Native Americans are not his voters. They were not supportive of him generally for president. So I think he's probably thinking politically, I can score a whole bunch of points with people who didn't like that this monument was designated by President Obama, and it won't hurt me politically. I think that's what he's probably thinking.
But is it aimed at Native Americans?
I don't think it's like hostily aimed at Native Americans. I think it's about kind of sending a signal that we have too much land that we protect and we should be exploiting it for oil or letting people ride their ATVs on it or what have you.
Could Donald Trump bring coal jobs back?
So it's very, very hard to bring coal jobs back, and I think we're not likely to see jobs increasing in the coal industry. And that's for a couple reasons. I mean, a big reason, which people don't talk about very much, is that when we have electricity, it can be powered by a bunch of different sources. So one source is natural gas. And natural gas it still pollutes in various ways, but it's way cleaner than coal. But what's really important is it's also way cheaper.
Yeah.
And so what's happened is that coal no longer is economical. And so it's really, really hard to say we're going to bring those coal jobs back. There's not much the federal government can do. It's not because of environmental regulations. It's really because the market is saying we prefer natural gas, but we also think that solar and wind are affordable now and they don't pollute. And they're really starting to compete with other kinds of sources of electricity. So I think we're going to see more wind, more solar, and we're probably going to continue to see a lot of natural gas being used.
So I think that's...
No, I have one. How much can one administration affect the environment?
So I'm afraid that one administration can do a lot of damage to the environment. We've already talked about climate change.
Yeah.
So air pollution is another really important one, and one place we've already seen that is that there was a rule to try to lower ozone pollution
Yeah.
that the Obama administration put into effect, and Scott Pruitt, the head of the EPA, has already said that they're gonna, for now at least, not enforce that rule, and they might eventually try to roll that back. Another place you already asked about what's really important is budget cuts. So if they succeed in doing things like cutting the enforcement budget at the Environmental Protection Agency, that means a lot of polluters can pollute and violate the law, and
Yeah.
nobody will be there to stop them, because that's what a lot of the EPA money goes for. There are lots of other ways that the EPA has money to clean up things like the Chesapeake Bay, the San Francisco Bay.
Yeah.
They also have money to clean up toxic waste sites. Trump is proposing eliminating all of that. So he can do a lot of damage. It's not damage, some of that damage can be repaired with a new president.
Yeah.
Climate change, the other problem with climate change is that when you put the emissions up into the atmosphere, they stay there for a really long time. And so if our emissions increase or if they don't decrease as much as they were supposed to, those emissions are gonna be there 50 or 100 years from now with Trump's name all over them.
Would you like a fun question?
Sure.
Doesn't Jeff Sessions look like he wants to kill someone? He looks so angry.
That's a fun, I never thought of it that way.
He does look very like angry.
Angry.
and strict.
Yeah, I think he actually was very nervous and kind of scared. And I think Senator Harris, our senator here from California, made him, he said that, she made him really nervous because she kept asking him hard questions. So I thought he looked uncomfortable. Whereas Comey, I felt, looked like he was almost having a good time.
Yeah.
Could the president do anything worse to the environment?
Then he already is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, so there are a couple things that Congress and the president could do together that would be really, really damaging. This is kind of complicated, but I'll see if I can explain it in a short way. So the way we regulate climate change emissions right now is under the Clean Air Act.
Yeah.
And that's, the Environmental Protection Agency has issued a bunch of regulations to do that. Congress, with the president, could roll back or basically eliminate the Environmental Protection Agency's authority to regulate greenhouse gases. That would be terrible if they do that. Another thing they could do, which would be terrible, is to prevent California from regulating emissions that come from cars.
Yeah.
And that's regular air pollution and climate change. They could really try to limit California's power. There would probably be a lot of lawsuits if they try to do that, but they may try to do that, and that would be really bad. We don't know yet whether they're going to do that. So we don't yet have the full picture of what the cutbacks are going to look like. You know, again, if Congress goes along with the budget cuts, it could get really ugly. I don't think that Congress will do that, but you know, more and more budget cuts could be really, really harmful too.
And I think that is all questions. Thank you for being our guest on our 4th episode of Political Fight.
Thank you for having me. You guys asked great questions.